What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're back on Homer / Junkyard Dog. We have got a tremendous amount of work to get done today. I'm going to be working on the engine, and the girls are going to be working on getting this entire interior gutted out of this car so we can get it fitted for a race seat and get some other goodies done in there. But since the last episode, the only thing I've really done is we went ahead and got the valve covers patinaed, cleared, and mounted to the engine itself, and got the thermostat housing mounted just to fill that hole there. That way no dirt or anything gets in it. I didn't film any of that because the granddaughter wanted to learn some basic skills, work on the engine a little bit by herself. So I wanted to be present for her for that, if that makes sense. So she was taking off some old parts off the old engine over there where we were cleaning them up to put them on Homer. So that's really the only thing you missed, but again, wanted to be present for her. So today I'm gonna work on this, getting the flywheel and torque converter mated together, get all that done, bolted in, get the starter put in, get the inspection plate, all of that done underneath, get it finalized. Then I'm gonna start putting this together up here. And like I said, the girls are gonna come down here and start on the interior of the car. And for the first time, we're gonna have multiple cameras set up in here. So, you know, we can get some of the engine work on video, get some of the interior work the girls are working on video, so on and so forth. So it is gonna be a busy, busy day. So as usual, kick back, get you something cold to drink, and let's get after it. This is Busted Radio Garage. All right, guys, first things first for me, the one thing I didn't do like an idiot when I went to put the motor in is I did not loosen the crank bolt. So now I've got everything hooked up in here, and it's just wanting to spin the engine over. So what I've done is I've taken one of my ratchet straps, hooked it to the frame rail, and I went down here and wrapped it around the balancer itself, and I'm hoping that creates enough pressure to where I can get this bolt out without keep spinning this engine over. So we're gonna give this a try, good, bad, or indifferent. You're gonna see it with me. So give me a second. I'll walk over here and I'm gonna try to do this while holding the camera. I should have done this when I had the engine on the stand, but like an idiot, I didn't. Well, for crying out loud. Let me get this thing here. Ugh. All right, now we're in business. Now I'm sure there's some guy out there, or a few of you are going, well, you could have done this. Well, I didn't, so we're gonna try this way. Oh, mercy. Oh, sweet. There we go. Shoot, yeah. Cool, good deal. Let me go ahead and get this bolt out. I'll go over there and get that bottom pulley. We'll go ahead and get it all mounted to the balancer, and we're gonna start building this thing up and getting her done. Hang tight. Well, come on. You got to be in these at some point.
I tried 3 times.
Well, use your machismo spirit. No? You ain't. First thing I'm going to tell you is you ain't going to get it with that.
Yeah, I see that. I'm going to have to get
Then you're going to have to get Big Daddy over there. Why are y'all so bashful? It's not like our first day doing this.
I'm not bashful. I just don't want to look like a fool.
All right, guys, we're moving right on along. So for me, I went ahead and got the bottom pulley mounted up to the balancer. Got the fuel pump installed. Went ahead, opened up the water pump and got it painted. Just didn't want it to rust, and we all know how that usually works out. The wife and granddaughter over here working on the interior. She's actually under the car right now, I think. Oh, there she is. Trying to get those seat bolts out, and those are rusted, so you know how that's gonna work out. My wife has the seats taken out of the front, and now we're gonna go ahead and pull this rear seat and see if there's a build sheet or anything underneath here. And it is gonna be hard telling this thing sitting in that junkyard for 25 years, 26 years, what we're gonna find under here. So I'm gonna hand the camera over to my wife, and we're gonna pull this out and pray there are no slithery items in there, because
You want a flashlight?
look at that vintage Marlboro pack. It's got some in it too. All right. No, I don't want a flashlight. I'm just gonna jerk and run. Oh, good night. No build sheet. Let's see. Okay, from the safety team, March 20th of 1979, final inspection. That's pretty cool. Let's see what else we got in here. No build sheet. Did you check underneath the front seats?
No, I just took
Well,
them
we'll
out.
do that while we're out. Let me set this off the side. We'll flip these over. See if there's a build sheet in here. I'd say the mice are done. No build sheet there. This is the driver's seat here. So let's see if it's in there. Nada. Nothing there either. So we'll keep tearing it apart, keep looking for it, and might be underneath the carpet. You know how that goes sometimes. So let's see what we got in here real quick. Let's see what's in here. I don't want to be breathing a whole lot of this in. I have no clue what that thing is. Ha, found the horn cover. I've been wondering where that thing was at. Sweet. Well, we'll keep that, put it on the steering wheel. Looks like I got an old Pop-Tart pack. I don't know. We'll keep digging after it, guys. If we find anything interesting, that build sheet might be on the back of this seat. Might be, I don't know. If it's in here, we're gonna find it, because all this is coming out. So, cool. We'll touch back with you in a minute. Hang tight. All right, guys, she's getting that back seat section out. See if we find a build sheet in there. No dice. Doesn't look like anything's in there. Boy, that is gamey.
How do I get that out?
Should just be able to just jerk her on out of there.
Oh, I gotta unhook it from the wall. Okay.
Are they mounted to the seat?
They're mounted to the floor. Yeah, they're mounted to the seat and mounted to the floor. See?
Oh, they mounted to the back of the seat.
Right here. Come here, look.
Ah, I see, said the blind man. Yep, just jerk him out. Cool. All right, guys. Very cool. We're just pecking along on the engine here. Got the water pump. Going ahead and got it kind of set on there. Went ahead and painted it a little bit just to keep it from rusting. Working on getting the alternator brackets set on. Then we'll put the new alternator. All right, guys. Getting the alternator mounted. Got the old factory bracket here. Sorry. Went ahead and painted it up. Well, this provision that generally comes off the side right here and mounts to the head was actually too big now, because these heads stick out probably an inch further than the factory heads. So I went ahead and cut that provision off, which I think will be fine. And then this is ultimately going to bolt right here on the water pump. And then the alternator will bolt here, and we'll get this all good and secure with its factory mount there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this mounted on and see what it looks like, but I think it's gonna work all right. That's a lot of stuff. She's pretty banked in here now, y'all. Needless to say, she don't have any floors left, or much anyway. Is she gonna go ahead and get that console out of the way, get it out of here? I'll go ahead and put that up for sale to somebody. Those are pretty desirable right now. That one's actually in pretty good shape with exception to the lid, but those are readily available. You can get those. We're getting there on the engine. Got the front for the most part set up. I gotta do some work on this power steering pump. I forgot till I put it back on here. This is what cost me the overheating issue in Indy. So if I've got to, I'll just run without power steering for now. I got the alternator on, water pump on. This is all buttoned down, dialed in. Got all this about ready. Waiting on the part for the carburetor before I can get it put on. Still waiting on the distributor before I can get it put on. So just knocking out what I can do. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get these plugs in, get the wiring done to the alternator. I'll go ahead and get the stack, put it here, because then, you know, I shouldn't have to come over here anymore. And this here is getting pretty empty. So we'll get all this knocked out, get a seat put in over there, and this will be about ready to go with exception to the gauges. I'm just gonna essentially just screw down into the dash, mount me a set of gauges up there, you know, oil, temp, volts, that's it. Forget about the rest of it. Then we'll start putting this nose back on, start getting this ready. So hopefully by next week, this old girl is gonna be done, finished for all what we need. And then I gotta get this mess cleaned up. It's just a freaking mess in here. Gotta get the cars rearranged. I got cars I gotta bring in here. I'm gonna get all the stuff that's left over from these two builds. I'm gonna stuff it in Homer's shell. Then I'm gonna go buy some casters, mount to Homer. And I'm just gonna wheel him over there in the corner, and that's where he's gonna spend the rest of his days, because he's essentially gonna be parts for this car now. Got to take the Willwood brakes off of that and bring it over here, mount it to this car, and then get rid of all this junk. So we got a ways to go, but we've got till the end of next month. But that's going to come in a hurry. So I don't want to be lazy about it and just take my time or whatever. I mean, I want to be, how do you say this? I want to work with a purpose, essentially. Just keep getting after it. And if we've got to button up some little things in Bradenton, we will. But this was the biggest part, and this looks really, really cool in here. Kind of disappointed I didn't paint it, make it pretty, but again, this was Junkyard Dog, so I'm gonna try to incorporate a little bit of Junkyard Dog and Homer into the same car, and then ultimately this is gonna be our new Homer. So, very cool. I'll get back with you here in a little bit. We're just gonna keep digging away. Got the youngin' over here. She's cleaning the radiator shroud, getting it all set up. So cool. All right, hang tight. All right, guys. We got all the interior gutted out that I want out of here. So we're gonna get this shot backed up. I'm gonna make some patch panels for these holes and just kind of sheet metal screw them in just to kind of have something. Gonna rhino line all this black, put me a seat back in here, and that's gonna be the end of it until we get back. I'll go ahead and screw me some gauges up here once I get the rest of this dialed in. Speaking of that, this power steering issue I'm having with, as you can see, this bracket back here is jacked up from something. And it's all this way. It's not lining up right. So I've made a bigger mess over there and just digging through bins. And the only bracket I can find is this aftermarket bracket from something. I don't know. It came from, it's a power steering bracket, but I don't know which one of the 329 cars it came from. So I'm going to pull this one back off, mount this one to the block, and if I got to, I'll put a spacer or something in here and try to draw this power steering pump back to where it lines up with the pulley. If that doesn't work, then I'll just have to hunt around through some of our other friends and see if they got a bracket, or I could even steal one off my RT, which is the last resort. I'd almost rather drive this with manual steering before I touch that car. But we'll get her figured out here in a minute, and then get the radiator shroud mounted, the fan mounted, all this stuff done so we can get it broke in before we start putting anything else on here and taking a chance on tearing up the engine. And as you can see where my battery tray was, there is nothing left. So I dug through and I found Homer's old tray. which all the bolt holes are still good. It's got a small hole there, but these holes are still good. So I'm just gonna mount it back in here. Well, come on out there. I'm gonna mount it back in here. Just won't be nothing underneath it, but at least it'll hold the battery. And I'm good there. So, other than that, just gonna keep pecking along. Granddaughter's got this shroud all cleaned up really, really nice. Thank you, good job. So we'll get it mounted up here, get the fan put back on. I gotta make a filler for that to plug that hole off in the dash, or in the firewall. So we're just gonna keep after it. All right, guys, moving right on along. So we've got that battery tray installed. Got 3 good bolts in it, brand new battery. Got all the power steering hooked up. My wife ended up, thank God, found Homer's bracket over there. I picked it up, picked a timing tray up 20 times. It was inside of it. So we've got it mounted. I've actually got to put a shim in it, which isn't that big a deal. Got all this dolled up. All this is finally buttoned down, checked. So I'm gonna go over, get this hose, run over to the intake, try to get this done. I'm gonna take this one, block it off. I'm not gonna need it. Let's see, get the bottom rad hose on, get that done for testing. Oh, mercy sakes. And then try to get the shroud on, fan on, get all this buttoned up here. And just keep plugging away, but this thing's starting to look sick. Cannot wait to hear it fire off. Got all the plugs in, had to wait on a set of those. They took a smaller size for these aluminum heads. No big deal. Here's the fan, shroud's down there. So get all this buttoned up over here, get all the electrical run over to the alternator, and then I can put the stack on over here, get this side completely done. But we are knocking it out. I mean, look at this shop. I mean, this is, man, I got crap just everywhere. But it's gonna be worth it when we're in the pit shredding these tires off. Cannot wait. And then get all this put back together, get the nose put on, all the chrome put on, the front, the grilled headlights, front bumper, what have you. And then we're gonna get the granddaughter out. She's gonna shop back this all out real good. We'll go ahead and get this all, use truck bed liner. Get this all cleaned up, take some plates, fix some of this other jazz. Get our gauges put on. And then this is gonna be ready to roll. It's gonna be sick. Gonna be sick. Cannot wait. Anybody's looking for a good 300 console, I got one there. It's in really good shape minus the lid. Shoot me over a message or put it in the comments or whatever. Back seat's in really, really good shape. Also gonna have that if somebody's interested in it. Driver's seat I'm gonna keep for now. Hey, check this out, guys. Look what my wife found underneath the carpet on this 300. The first thing is pretty cool. It's this little dinky razor knife. It's about, I don't know, 2 inches by 1/2 inch. It's rusted. Well, wait a minute. Little dinky thing. I'm not sure if they use that at the factory to trim up around the carpet or what have you. That's pretty cool. And those of you from the 70s know exactly what these things are. Brand new underneath the carpet of the 300. I mean, like they were put in there yesterday. Unbelievable. But I know a few of you out there know what those are. But yeah, that was pretty neat to find underneath where the passenger side seat was in the carpet. Pretty cool. All right, guys. That's going to be the end of this episode this week. It was a fun day. We got a lot done. We still got a lot to do and a lot further to go. But we're going to get there. It's going to be an absolute blast to see this car, actually be in this car, out in the pit all summer long, starting with the Freedom Factory in Bradenton, Florida. It's going to be cool. I appreciate everybody that's coming in to watch this build. It's awesome. I mean, I appreciate all my subs. You all know that. I mean, it's just awesome to have you all around. It's very cool. Speaking of my subs, we've got a bunch of the plates in for the license plate challenge for around the shop. I think we have, I haven't opened the fan mail yet this week. We're going to have a live coming up where I'm going to do that. But I think we got 6 or 7 plates, and I hear we got some more on the way, which is going to be cool. We'll have a plate from every state in the United States on the wall with the sender's name, YouTube channel, who they wanted to donate the plate to, whatever, on the wall, and it'll be in all the videos here in the shop, which is very cool. All right, guys, make sure to stop in next week. We'll see if we can get this old girl running. And, well, I shouldn't say old girl. I call my cars old girls. We see if we can get Homer the Junkyard Dog running, get him on the road, and waste them tires back here. Very cool. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks for watching.